What's up, everybody? This is Enlightened Masculinity. I'm your host, Yogi Chris, PhD, aka Pimpin' Yogi. And this episode is about ganging up in a city. As the IMC Nation monks have traveled, a new base has opened here in San Jose. So we had base one, which is Arash Sapardibazar, the main attraction, number one pickup seduction artist and relationship coach on planet Earth. You could test it, check it out, look him up. He's tagged in the episode. And the other four guardians that live with him, the top students from a generation ago or a little era ago. We don't go like 20 years as a generation gap. It's like 1 or 2 years. It's a new season of people. So one of the older generations of IMC crew, me, Fernando, Sultan, Demigod, I've featured them on the show also. We all live with Arash. So it's a gang, and the gang is worldwide, but we moved here from out of state, far away. And it was a big thing to do, really. It happened during COVID. Real estate prices in San Jose are some of the highest around. So it's kind of fucked proposition, but we made it work. A year and a half later, after just event after event after event, hundreds of guys have come from all over, even some from other countries, even though it's COVID, they made it and, came to do events. We had a base 2 spring up a little bit ago in New Mexico where some guys coalesced for a few months and then it dispersed. And now we have even more legit base 2. We actually have a base 3 already in Los Angeles, but that's not for this episode. So we have base 2 also in San Jose. So we're hella ganging up in San Jose. We got 5 new guys in base 2, Najim, Alex Palacio, Will Rios, Shamir Khan, and who's the other guy?
Pyro, possibly.
Pyro. Oh, so there's an open room. So we have 4 new guys ganged up in a base there in San Jose. So we got 9 guys in San Jose. It's pretty dope. When we roll deep to the strip club every weekend, let alone the camp event. So now when 10 or 12 or 15 guys descend on San Jose for the camp event, there's already 9 guys here. Mm-hmm. And so now it's like 25 guys rolling deep. It's just ridiculous. That's why we almost have to have private parties. We can only have private. At some point, we'll have 40 guys come in here. What are we going to do? We can't like travel to go get dinner. We got to get catered everything we do. Or rent a yacht. Powerhouse is like, okay, I'm on it though. All right. So I have guests here, Najim and Alex Palacio. These are 2 of the monks that have based in San Jose. And, this whole channel has really morphed from, what it was to what it is now, which is like the red pill of dating and a lot of interviews with IMC Nation guys who are also deep in this red pill of, masculinity, like the truth about dating, like the MGTOW, but actually fucking getting it right, basing up with the guys, living that bachelor's life while you hold down relationships and multiple relationships. And now these guys are here. So we're going to pick their brain about the decision to come, the hardships, the what's already changing about them, their outlook on the future, and anything else that's top of mind for them about basing up with your brothers to win at this game. The strategy of winning at the social dynamics game, is a tribal game. When you get to the top, you start seeing it's a tribal game. And so welcome my guests, brothers. You've been in San Jose a couple of weeks already. What can you tell us about the experience so far? Najim and Alex P. These guys, I want to do almost a better intro. These guys, fuck, man, it's been such a history with you. Oh my God. Najim is so interesting and special to me because I believe he's going to shatter this illusion right now. So now it's not going to be special anymore. But I believe Najim actually found me on Instagram and then I directed him to Arash, and then he found Arash and it was like, and then he just like hopped on, and I was like so proud of that because there's very few guys that come from my Instagram to Arash. Everybody found Arash and I just start talking to them. And then Alex Palacio, man, he's almost like, it's in the shadows, man. He's a dark horse, but he keeps coming around and he's just, and he gets himself involved and he's around at like pinnacle moments, and he's been consistent. And he was a surprise guy for me that he was in this base. And so he's wedged himself into an all-star team that I didn't know that he was in the running for, but he made himself in the running. And now there's no choice but to ascend, and he's going to ascend. And I've also had him on the show before, so you can go back to that episode to see how much growth there's been since that episode. So now with this introduction, as humble as I made it, Najim and Alex P, what's going on, brothers?
We've been nonstop anything since we came.
Yeah. A lot of planning, organizing, getting things up and running. Of course, a lot of communicating, because since we're here, we know in our hearts that we want to do things right. That's important. We put a lot of time into this, a lot of effort and our own energy. Everyone else behind it did, to whoever got the place, Powerhouse, everyone. So yeah, we're excited. And this is really nice.
Gotcha. So, you have a couple out of state guys, I think, or, Najim, you've been migrating around. I think basically you and Will Rios came from Los Angeles essentially. And then Shamir has been here for a while. And then Alex P, you came from like an hour and a half away or so and relocated here to San Jose. So it's the basic move. Like, were you guys nervous, like moving in to, like, was there any nerves about it? Or was it just, man, just got to come up with the money. Like, I'm all gung ho about this shit.
Yeah, for me, it was just like, this is my time to evolve. And like, this is my opportunity. I need to make shit happen, and then.
How old are you, brother?
Leaving my,
How old are you? 31?
38.
38 years old. So that's a decision. 38-year-old to move in with a bunch of Alex Palacio. What are you?
I left three of my kids, 2 of my baby mamas behind, and my mom.
All right. So is your mom living with one of your baby mama?
No, she's living in her own house. And then my baby mamas, they have their own house.
Together?
No, separate.
So that's a lot of responsibility. So this is a man with a lot of responsibility, 38 years of wisdom, relocating to San Jose to live the bachelor's life with, maintain, these.
Not only that, but it's like, it's God's calling, it's not over here. It's not, we learn about getting chicks and stuff, but we evolve, and it's for my family. If I'm sticking around them, wasting my life taking care of them, I can't evolve. So it is for them, for me to come out here and fucking put my full potential to something.
And that's where someone comes in with the point of contention that they're like, well, why can't you evolve being around your family? Like these other guys do it. That's the thing. You got to be able to point out that other guys aren't doing it. You think they're doing it because they're saying they're doing it, or they're reading like some sheepish books about stuff, and they're finishing books, but they're not changing, So it's that point of contention that like, I'm not actually evolving being right next to you all the time, sleeping in the bed next to you, waking up next to you, bathing next to you, shitting next to you. Like, I need my own space. Right. And so here you are, man. And this is just what, like a few weeks here? Have you already felt the change?
It's been 1 week, and I can already feel like them like missing my presence. And so like I got in an argument with my girl in the beginning. She was like, I was all like, I had to make the move. She's like, how are you gonna just leave the kids on me and shit like this? And then I go, I love you. And she goes, well, I don't love you. And she hung up like that. And then the next day she called and was like, apologized and said like that. And, she's like, she was telling me how special I was. And I never heard these things come out of her mouth before. So,
interesting.
It's like when you're around someone too much, it's like, you don't get to miss them, So
yeah, I want to almost ask, and I don't, I want to ask, like, is there, or was there for you a willingness to lose it all to make this move?
I don't feel like I'm losing anything.
But was there a willingness? I mean, like, was there a willingness, because she had that fight? Like, was there the willingness for it to not work out, but you stay on this course?
Oh yeah, there's like, like I'm looking at the bigger picture.
Clearly.
Yeah,
you got a long view.
It's like, after hearing that, and like, it's like, all right, I just gotta go through this. Like, because of all the mental exercises that we learned over the years, I'm able to do that. If it wasn't for my mental capacity, my capacity to go through the pain, I wouldn't be able to. And I can, it's night and day from how I used to feel when she did reject me or do something towards me now. It's like, I don't give a fuck.
The way you're talking, you're separating more and more from the herd. You're separating from the herd mentality. Alex P, man, what's it been like for a week or so? Are you feeling the transformation? Oh, and did you have any nerves about the move?
Yeah, I feel amazing, because it's definitely just a step up in just overall quality of life being out here. San Jose is an amazing city to be in. Not only that, but this neighborhood is completely beautiful. In the process of getting here, yes, I was very nervous in some ways, especially in the sense that I didn't want to be trapped in my town or in my area just because, I had a business there, right? So the hurdles of that was being able to still operate my own business and make money while being about 45 minutes and an hour away. Now I could drop in and drop out. However, what this did was it forced me into a position that I had to create it in a way that now really I could be anywhere, probably in the world, basically, if and by the looks of it, things are working out. So, and you know, aside from that, you know, I had to spend a lot of money coming out here. Not a big deal, not a problem. You know, we're all hard workers. We believe in ourselves. We know that we could get shit done. And you know, there's plenty of work if money's ever an issue, right? So,
man, I feel you stretching. Alex, how old were you? I asked Najim.
27.
27. Because I don't know, that was something for me, like in my 30s, and you know, it had been a long time since I had roommates, and although I had lived with that might be kind of not recognizing the truth, that I had lived with Brian and I had lived with my parents, I had lived with my girlfriend for some time over the course of years, but not like this, not like basing up. It's like a permanent address, you know, and it's like fixing myself down in a point and you know, building from that, man. And then with a bunch of like, there's a lot of accountability, man. You step out the door, they're right there, you know, and but you also have a bigger space, but with more space, there's more things to mess up. There's more junk to leave around, more things to left uncleaned, more things to ignore. You can just keep looking away because you have so much space. And pretty soon you have the whole thing. It's like, you know, and but then other people are also doing that. So you're in this like organization. You got, like in our case, a 44-year-old when we moved there, 43 or whatever, and then a 23-year-old, and this range of responsibility of just living in a house, you know. It was pretty amazing to watch it organize. So you guys, so it doesn't sound like there was any nerves about it. It seemed like it jumped out of nowhere. Like I was over on this end pushing Shamir a little bit. And at some point I told a story on the show about, we were sitting at dinner at Guapo's and Shamir and a couple, I think Fernando was there. I don't think Sultan had arrived yet. And AZD and Shamir are talking about, you know, he's trying to get guys to move here. And he was like, Yogi, Chris, could you get anybody something like, could you get anybody to base up here? Like another guys to base up here. I was like, man, I could get anybody to base up here. Anybody in IMC Nation, I could get to base up here. You just got to do the math and make it work out. It's just, who would you want to base up with? Because they just might be flaky. That's why originally in the basing, I only chose from a very narrow pool of guys. I wasn't even offering it to people. But nothing like it had been done before. I was starting something that hadn't. So, you know, Shamir's on this end. And when I said that, he got a little bashful about it. It was like, oh, because I'm pushing him his sales. Like when he was doing tribal leader events, he was around here every day. I was messaging him and trying to get him, you know, break free. Like I see Alex Palacio, this is happening. Like your language breaks free to layers and layers and layers of power. And so we're checking in with Shamir as he lives here for like 3 weeks, and we're checking in like, who's it going to be? Literally in the last 3 weeks while he was living here, we didn't know who it was going to be. I didn't know that in 3 weeks it was going to be done and it'd have a place. And then lo and behold, you guys. So is there anything that you have on that process of how the process went down for you? I'm sure guys all around like Ryan G is here. There's guys in Amsterdam.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. It really kind of did pop out of nowhere. I wasn't really expecting it to happen the way that it happened. All of a sudden, I just heard about, oh, we're trying to put a base together. We have a place available, and I knew in my heart that this was something that I wanted to do. You know, so you do have to. I had to reflect on that for a moment. You know, I was like, no. This is it. I want to be in San Jose. I want to be closer to AZD. I want to be closer to the brothers. I want to go out every weekend. This is the lifestyle that I would like to have. And it was plain and simple. I mean, that was it. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Sure.
I want to share something with you guys. When we pulled up to this house, so this house is completely empty. No furniture, not even toilet paper or nothing. So everyone brought a little bit something for us to start the first day, which was great. So we're cleaning, and then we come upon this bottle right here.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So it's just a random bottle of vinegar that the cleaners left behind.
But check it.
But the brand says
4 monks. That's
what we named ourselves, the 4 monks of IMC Base 2.
Yeah, 4 monks of Base 2. The Base 2 the 4 monks of Base 2. Base 2 monks.
It was exactly 4 of us, so we were tripping out on that.
Hey man, out of all of the brands of fucking vinegar that it could have been.
Man, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll see a lot of those because you all are very powerful men. You've been building your power individually, and now you come together in a synergistic way. You make this incredible engine. You're going to start generating power from the base. We got, more and more guys. We got a Vegas monk here. There's guys in Vegas that could be basing up. This has been something that I pushed for a little while, and then I stopped because AZD asked me to stop. And then, I see bases springing up all over and touring those bases. That's why I have the map now. I'm putting up things on the map. I need to change the San Jose pin now to a second base there. It's got a special color, and then the Los Angeles change it to a base. It makes room for other pins also. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So you were talking about the future, Najim, and building towards the future with base 2. What was it? After parties. I mean, that could happen even this time around. I mean, that's great. That's just like in the plans. That's just how to have a good time. There's going to be like 10 guys that come, at least maybe 15 guys that come to this next gathering last weekend in February. Plus there's you 4 guys, us 4 guys, plus AZD is 5 guys. And, so it's going to be a gang of guys. Now we go out gaming consistently. We're gaming in this area. All of us are bumbling and fucking Tindering and Facebook dating and whatever. And then, Instagram in the area. Plus we're all interacting with the businesses locally. Like there's 10 or 12 guys in this area that are, socially intertwining and pulling, right? Plus now we're also going consistently to the strip club, Rhino, if you join us to Sporties, and being known there, which they don't have always the same girls. It's kind of a rotation. So you're spreading in that way. And then month after month, some of the same guys are coming and doing that as well. So we're building a big social circle around IMC Nation San Jose. And now into the week 2 of contribution from base 2 being here, what do you think? What do you think's coming up? What have you seen so far?
So I'm interested in being an investor. So obviously we're here. We have a beautiful backyard and space. So we're planning to hold a couple events, for the brothers of IMC, for everyone, all of us, so we can get together, and just build our tribe from here. I was, like you were saying, well, for me, last year, I used to see Sultan on your podcast, Fernando on your podcast. Now they're not on your podcast too much. They evolve so much, right? Yeah. So now it's just like a circle for me. So it's like, we all have our ranks. We're going up, and then someone else comes. I just see it as that, and we're like the wheel on our emblem. Mm-hmm. We're going.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I see that. And I was just talking about that with, the podcast team. MJ's on the podcast team. He schedules everybody. Miracle J, shout out. Tony K does all the posting for this. Shout out Tony K. And, I was saying, because I've been having 2 guests on, because the dynamics between me and one guest was sometimes difficult to carry if they don't, whatever, I maybe have to change the subject a lot or whatever and try to make it interesting. But the 2 guests, a couple of times we randomly came across 2 guests, I think, because like one canceled and then took it back. They could show up, and I rescheduled someone. So 2 guys showed up and we tried it, and it was like good. And, more people show up also. It's just like the audience responded more. So we started implementing that, and then implementing like you have to do a second device so that you're going Instagram. So you're funneling people, everybody's funneling their social media towards the show, awareness and everything. And so Tony K posts the Telegram group here, so you can join the Telegram and stay involved, because the community is eventually going to change to IMC Radio. The plan for this podcast is to change it to IMC Radio. Right now, Rudy is changing my YouTube to IMC Television. It was behavior code. Now I'm changing it to IMC TV. It's going to be branded. We got a logo, Eric B. Shout out Eric B. Drew up a IMC TV logo, and that's Tone's Design on Instagram. So he does our logos. Check him out. And IMC TV, IMC Radio. We have all the logistics of how to do it, because podcasting is its own thing. It's not like Instagram. It's not like YouTube. It's its own thing. We've had to figure it out. And so we figured out what needs to happen. And so we'll make that jump. So what we're doing until then was with 2 guests, and they go live on Instagram. But I've done that now with Sultan and Fernando. And I commented, they seemed almost a little irritated having a second guest. Like, it was a little impatient. They had more to say, and I could tell the difference also when the second guest wasn't Sultan. It would be interesting to have a 3-way actually with both of them. I think I did that actually. I had a 3-way with both of them, and they both seemed irritated. Like I was like, all right, I just need to have a one-on-one with each of you, because all right, we can carry that, and let's do it. So that's what I'll do. I might do that with Jordan Amari too, or Pyro, and we'll test it out. And it's not that you guys can't do it either. Honestly, I was ready to go with Najim. And you guys are at higher levels. It's just something I noticed from the past. And so maybe I'll start doing solo guests or whatever, and see how that goes for a little while. Everybody's really accelerating. As you come out with us week by week, there's an intensity or a level of presence that you must have, or you will come up to by just being out and having to get into that social presence. And sharpening up week after week, you just elevate. You just start coming up in not necessarily emotional tone, but like in your impact of your presence and your communication, So, yeah. So I think branding yourself as you're coming up as the 4 monks of base 2, that brand, and this next camp that comes around, your presence will be known as the 4 monks as you hang together, roll together, because you'll have your own car. It'll be the base 2 car. It's like, even as you ornament or decorate, like I recommend have that place that you guys podcast. So have the background nice. So that thing is hanging up, and that's like your podcasting, like, or you're streaming or whatever, like Ryan G has. He has a background on his Zoom or whatever, but it ends up looking like a background. The thing now, mine is maybe not so good, but the one that we use downstairs, and I just made a little bit of extra money. It was a surprise. It came out of nowhere. I actually refused it a bunch of times, and then it came anyway. And so I'm looking at getting some prints made. Need some prints made, maybe some canvas prints. Najim, do you do canvas prints?
Yep.
Man, I want to get some canvas prints of our group shots.
Sure.
So let's talk after the show. So everybody, Najim does that. So there's a business pitch. And we'll have your Instagrams tagged in this also.
Gustoprint.com.
Vistaprint.com, right on.
No, Gusto Print.
Oh, Gusto Print. Gusto Print.
Yeah, fuck Vistaprint. I blow Vistaprint out the water.
There you go. Gusto Print.
Yeah.
Gustoprint.com. Right on. So, all right. So we've covered, it was easy for you guys to move here, and, you moved in together, and, you guys are aligning and seeing some synchronicities and looking forward to the future, easy to see.
For sure.
Does it feel like it's been a culmination of like years of doing this training, making it here?
I think so.
What
Does it feel like years of culmination of the training before we got here?
Oh yeah, and now it's like we get it. We're putting our work into practice now.
Yeah.
Whatever we learn, we're about to hit the streets or whatever you want to call it. But
because now we could utilize it for real and on a weekly basis.
We've been using it wherever we were at, but now it's just like okay. And then also like now that we have more responsibilities to keep this house up, keep the events going, keeping up with IMC, it's just like, yeah, this is gonna happen.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, man. You moving in together, like, has there been as you were talking, and I was just thinking through that process, as you've been doing what you were doing on your own, but now you're coming together and like aligning those energies. Has there been any moments, like any big moment, like the four monks thing? Any other aha moments about the move? Or I don't know why more guys don't do it. I don't know if there's more to hack to the experience of it really. I think it's super cool and super prestigious. I couldn't talk more about it. Like, or I couldn't talk enough about it, however the saying goes. Like, you guys have been training hard, investing your time, your money. There's pain involved in that. You got to make sacrifices. You got to convince the people in your life that depend on you because they deserve an explanation, but you got to, man, you learn so much about like where you put your foot down, where you need cooperation. So you got to explain it better. You got to come up in awareness and, these struggles. And then there are expenses along the way. There's also psycho-emotional like experiences that, this is not for the weak of heart or the weak of will. And you're tested along the way. And then, more and more scrutiny and eyes are on you as you get closer and more. Negative habits that just get eyes on them. And, so this process, and then now you're living with each other. I just think it's so cool. And the alignment of your philosophy is so deep. If you've been studying this stuff, that it's just not like, it's almost like living with the family you were born with, because there's a big alignment of philosophy. Until you become independent and start and explore something else, you're pretty aligned. You also have a lot of push buttons in each other. So it's fucked up. But that there's a level of alignment, and here there's a similar level of alignment, but it's funny because the belief system is so communication is so integral to it that it's like a teleportation portal or it's like a Stargate. It's like
we have a portal in our backyard.
A portal. Yes, it's a portal. It's like a Bermuda Triangle. It's like a vortex. It's like this thing that you evolve lifetimes while you evolve at the same age as everybody else. You go a year, but if you weren't based up, you're a year from now, there's a difference in your mind, your energy, so that's why it's so prestigious, man. It's like, it's just not available. A guy that's based up could go live solo, but not every guy that lives solo could base up.
Yeah.
It's a higher order of organization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's just so dope. I don't mean to lecture about it. I'm just super excited about it. I don't know. Is there anything that excites you about it still?
Yeah, we hold each other with a lot of respect.
A lot of respect.
Talk about that. What? Yeah, Alex. A lot of respect. There's a lot of words in there.
Yeah, you can just tell just the overall vibe and the way that we just treat each other is just not only does it come naturally, but you can feel the amount of respect that we each give each other as we simply just pass by each other through the house. I mean, it's there.
That, and then if we have a decision to make, we're right away, okay, let's have a meeting, and we were very easy to agree with, like, because everybody gives their logical sense, and then we just work together really well.
Yeah, we're very, very good minds, like 4 sharp ass fucking minds
compared to our home.
Yeah.
So nobody knows about communication or respect or things like that, or consideration sometimes.
Exactly.
It's like we can solve anything almost, right? Practically.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's a lot of admiration for each other. There's been a lot of accomplishment intros by AZD over the years about each other. So we've come to admire each other over the internet, see really good qualities about each other, ideal images of each other. And there's so much alignment with IMC that nobody wants to fuck up their relationships with each other, because there's a deeper thing here. It's not just 4 roommates moving together. There's a bigger purpose, and there's a tribal allegiance also. And, there's also, what you were just saying. Man, yeah, it's just so cool. This philosophy, what you're studying with IMC Nation and communication, Enlightened Masculinity, as the show is called, is that thing that makes it so good to live together. And if you lived with anybody else outside, you would be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So you have to put up like walls and boundaries and borders.
Yeah.
And so it's more cocooned. And so you're able to have a much bigger boundary. It's more than just two persons' boundaries put together. You can guard a much bigger space. You know, it's like if you double the radius, you make the area much bigger.
And we already previously knew each other.
Yeah,
from class and Instagram. So it wasn't like moving in with 4 new roommates. Like, let's say you go to college, you don't know these guys, you have to dorm up with these guys, right? Versus it's already like you're like moving in with a family member almost.
Pretty much, and it's really interesting too. When you take a look at it, if you wanted to be in a situation like this without the tribe, really you would have to go on a fucking Facebook groups or fucking Craigslist or whatever, and to be in a similar house, you would have to, like you said, live with 3 other fucking strangers, pay the same amount of money. You don't know people, who they are, what they do, what their values are and shit, right?
Sure.
So you live alone. Those are the options, and this option is a no-brainer. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. That's why it's so much better than like if Najim, what's going on? Is there something else exciting?
Talking with someone important.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Texting.
Oh, got you. It looked like watching a sports game or something. I was like,
no,
I want to know what's going on.
Sports.
Yeah, it's regarding
or a fight. I don't know. Maybe the UFC's on. Oh yeah. Oh man, we got a lot of people on Instagram or whatever. We have other monks. We have Camilo. He was just here at the game, the camp last month. Phoenix is on. Tones Design is actually on. Tattoo Addicts is on Instagram. We got people on Facebook. I want to read you something, Najim, from Wasik Muhammad. Wasik Muhammad commented on the Facebook Live going on right now, and he's somebody that had just wished AZD a happy birthday on his Facebook, but AZD doesn't look at Facebook. So I went through his Facebook happy birthdays and I sent everybody a message. He's one of the guys that sent a message. So I guess he knows, I forget what we've messaged back and forth, but he knows Arash obviously somehow. And he said, you got mad respect for Najim. That's a difficult choice. That's looking back at, okay, you got 2 babies mamas, you got a mom left behind and 3 kids, and you're going to transplant yourself to live with these guys for this project in San Jose at 38 years old. Like a mad respect from Wasik Muhammad, Najim. And we got, a lot of people that watch these shows afterwards. So this is cool, man. This is so cool. Yeah. Does anybody in the audience, we got a bunch of people here on Zoom. Girls, you can private chat me, or anybody. A lot of these guys are IMC monks that are on. If you got any comments or questions for these guys, or even myself, you can unmute. Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, this question is for Najim and Alex. Do you guys have room for one more?
What's up?
We have one room, but it's already taken by Pyro.
Yeah, we were thinking, man. We were thinking about.
He is gonna be here from time to time. So on the next availability, we'll let you know, TK, for sure.
Yeah. Should open up in rotation.
I see. So you're gonna do it rotation style?
Yeah, because eventually Pyro's gonna move to AZ and base up there.
Yeah.
Arizona.
So is it? So Pyro's out here. Pyro's just here like 2 or 3 days a month. So what do you mean? What are the other 27 days?
No, I think he's gonna be here for a little longer doing.
He's doing petitioning. Fuck yeah. Man,
so
that thing.
Doing petitioning, saving up to move to AZ.
If I wasn't doing what I do for AZD and myself, I might do petitioning.
I just learned it today. I just learned how to do it today. Yeah. Chris, you would kill it at petitioning.
I would, because I tell you what, I fucked up the whole yoga industry of the United States. Like I just went in there like a weed whacker or more like a tiller. I was a tiller.
Yeah.
We don't know the difference.
A tiller, it goes into the ground like about 6 to 12 inches and just turns it up, but it's motorized. So it just goes, it digs up the ground. And versus a weed whacker just kind of cuts grass or whatever.
Gotcha.
I tilled up the yoga industry, made people that didn't host travel yogis, made people that said no 6 or 9 times on the phone, turn them into a yes, get paid from it. We'll get a great testimony video. I was known for like getting testimony. I had 100 testimony videos. It's hard to get testimony videos from yoga people. They're so shy. And it's so calming. Nobody wants to stand behind the camera. So did all that, and all AZD tech. Like my cold calling was my pickup. Like I was doing that shit every day. And, this became that transition. I was overlapping this and that for like a year. And then COVID happened and I just dropped that and just did this all the time. But it was a lot more Instagram messaging than cold calling. I found that the calls didn't really sell guys. There wasn't really any selling guys in this. Everybody wanted to do it or you didn't. And if you wanted to do it, it was just about kind of helping you measure how much it's worth. And that's all it was. So I guess that's selling. I don't know if that's selling, but it was more like just conversation and teaching. Felt like I was almost conversing / teaching guys. That's what it would take. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it since my event that I did a couple months ago, but you guys are going to evolve real rapidly. And I don't know if I let you fully answer the question. Oh, you have room for one more. Yeah. So Pyro. Oh, so he's going to be out here petitioning. So that's exciting. And so it's a 5-bedroom, I guess you have?
No, we're converting one section of the house.
Yeah, there's going to be a little divider put up. It's a nice room. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, for sure. Very cool. All right. Well, I guess we might have covered it all. Is there anything else that's on top of your mind or the audience members? Phoenix is there in New Zealand. So the New Zealanders are all on their own, man. They're not packing up at all. Daniel Willis, Peter, Phoenix, they're all kind of lone wolfing it right now. And I think there's one other guy. There's a couple other guys. There's probably 2 or 3 other guys in New Zealand. We got New Zealand people. Australia, people are in Sydney. I don't know if New Zealand, you can get to Sydney. If you get to Sydney, then you should pack up, base up in Sydney. There should be a Sydney base. There's 3 high-level guys there.
Yeah. I don't know. I already feel the energy just changing. Remember when we were just driving around in that U-Haul, and it's just like, just the whole vibe of it out here is just, you notice it. You notice it.
All the cooperation and admiration, and it's making these like day-to-day, kind of regular life choices, but around your brother. You're used to being around your brother during camps and going back and doing daily activities in that life, but then doing the daily stuff that you got to do to live around your brothers, it just becomes so much more homely and real. And it's like, whoa, wait a second. This is all the high vibes of boot camp, but in my daily living, this is a trip. And, now it's like the race is, it's like you discover warp speed. Everybody else is still trying to break the speed of light.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Star Trek warp speed.
That's what it is, of the mind. So brothers, all right. I think we, how much tent space? That's funny. Phoenix is talking about basing up in a big tent. All right. On the beach there in New Zealand. Right on.
The traveling base.
Yeah, man. Roaming base. So, all right. Everybody go click the link in the description. You could find also Najim and Alex P in the description here. And, this is very exciting because I'm sure we're going to have you guys back on the show and we're going to see some rapid evolution. So you can even look forward like a month, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, looking back on this episode, like, man, that was our first episode. Yeah. Doing it like as the base 2, the 4 months of base 2.
Yeah.
And what do you want to say to yourself in the future? Anything? Or what would you tell yourself now from the future? Anything?
You need more chicks. I'll have 4 by then, but I'll tell myself you need more.
You just gotta be telling yourself.
4 is not enough.
Man, at the rate things have been going lately, man, all I know is that yeah, he's having a good time.
That's my goal, actually, to get a girlfriend, because my last 2 relationships I've been with them so long, so it's very hard for me to like find a new person. So that's like my goal.
Remember that epiphany moment you told me about? Do you want to share that with him?
No, which one?
You were like,
I want to hear.
I have so many.
Where you were like, you're doing something with like your girl, and then you told me, he's like, man, I realized I'm in a house full of like Alex is doing this.
Bro,
and this,
yeah.
and this
So
and that.
remember I said when my girl said, "Oh, I don't love you," right? So I was like, what the fuck am I even worried about? I got fucking a dating master here with a text messaging date master here. I got Shamir here. AZD's down the block. What am I fucking worried about, bro? I have nothing to fucking worry about when it comes to girls. I'm good. I'm solid.
Nah.
But that was my epiphany. Like, I'm solid. I don't got shit to worry about.
Yeah, when you told me that, I was just like, bro, you're right.
When it comes to gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just relax into it because you're on the winning team. And it's just about, raising in the ranks of the winning team, getting better and more skilled, bringing new guys in so you can see the contrast and, help the whole thing grow, because that's how success is. And let's see where we can take this, man. Our imagination and our communication, our persistence, loyalty, strength, courage, these things, we are the new Illuminati. This is a phrase I originally thought up and told Daisy. I think we should call it the new Illuminati. And, we are the prophets of the new religion. Jesus was not a Christian. We are the prophets of a religion that doesn't yet exist, actually, because it's our lifestyle. Someone else is going to write it down. I write it down. I write down AZD stuff, and I'll write a lot more, and we'll have some books, the Gospels, the good spells of IMC Nation.
Hell yeah.
All prophets had disciples.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this is that. And on that, with Star of Truth, Alex Palacio, all the audience, thank you for this great conversation. See you in the next one. Os.
Hell yeah. Os.